right, looks like we are crooked. Hello, hello. I am Kim Trathen, and this is episode 12 of Free Life Business Coaching. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with my tripod. Let's see, I'm going to take a minute here and make sure that this is streaming live in the group. So let's just make sure we don't have any issues with that. And I see we are live. Okay, today we are recording episode 12 of Free Life Business Coaching, and we are going to talk about how to increase your prices. So if you've been thinking about increasing your prices, or maybe you increased them and then struggled to sell, I really have to fix this. This is driving me crazy. And then you have to, there we go, and you struggle to sell, we're going to be breaking all of that down. Okay, I think I got it now, ladies. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm straight now. Oh, that was going to drive me crazy. Okay, so episode 12. Let's kick off again. I am Kim Trathen. Here we go. Okay. I don't know what's going on today. There we go. All right, we're doing it. Whether I'm crooked or not, we are doing it because for some reason my tripod keeps moving. All right, episode 12 of Free Life Business Coaching. We are talking about how to increase your pricing. So listen, if you have been thinking about increasing your prices, or maybe you've already increased them and then you struggled to sell, this episode is for you. So I'm Kim Trathen. I help motivated entrepreneurs scale to six figures and beyond. A lot of my clients are earlier stage entrepreneurs and they're struggling to sell some of their packages. So this is something that we talk about a lot. One of the things that I do with my clients is really sit down and talk about your custom growth plan. Okay, what is the growth going to look like in your business? Where is your first focus? What will those increases look like? And coming up with a custom strategy to grow your business. When you start making money, you probably don't just want to make money. You want to build a life that you actually love, right? You want time to spend with your kids or your friends or your family or your fur babies, your dogs and your cats, right? Whatever life that you want, you deserve to be able to build that. And your business is one of the vehicles that you get to do that with. So let's dive in. When most people structure their pricing, they structure it way too low in the beginning. And I get it. I remember when I created my first package, I just wanted to help people. I just wanted to make a sale. I just wanted to sign a client. So there's no shame if that's where you've been. But it's time to increase those prices now. Okay, some people prefer to increase their prices. I don't know what is going on with this today. It is literally driving me crazy. Some people increase their prices in really small increments. Maybe you go from $1,500 to $2,000, then $2,000 to $2,500. Right? There's all different ways that you can look at. Okay, ladies, I'm sorry. You're just going to bear with me a minute while I tighten some of these because it keeps moving. There. I think we're good now. So if you decide to increase your prices in small increments, that is one strategy, but it's not required. Okay, some people will increase by a larger amount, but they start to barter with themselves. Like, I'm going to double my prices, but I'm going to go from working with clients from 3 months to 6 months because then that feels better. What I want to talk about, sometimes those things need to happen, right? If you've actually decided that 3 months is not the appropriate time, that you need longer with clients, that's different than wanting to increase your prices but not being sure how to do it without doubling the time that you're working with them or throwing a bunch of more things in there. That's not really scalable in the long-term life of your business. Okay, you can't constantly just be extending out packages as a means to increase your pricing because that just takes more and more of your time with each client. That's not really scaling your business. So it might work for right now, or you might have discovered that there are some things in your program that need to be tweaked or fixed. What I want to talk about today is the 3 steps to increase your pricing without having to make any other concessions or bartering. Okay, so if you're thinking like, oh, I want to double my prices, but I have to double the time I work with them, that's not true. Okay, and there are 3 steps that every entrepreneur should be taking before you increase your prices, and that's what we're breaking down today. So often when I'm coaching clients on this, I hear 3 very common fears, worries, concerns. Sometimes they even feel like facts inside of your brain, but I hear the same 3 things over and over again. Okay, I hear, can I really deliver that kind of value? I hear, what if no one will buy at that price point? And I hear, what if they can't afford it? Okay, I hear those same three things from so many women over the last couple of years. So we're gonna break each of those down today because these three common fears, actually we're going to address them in these 3 steps that you should be taking before you even increase your prices. So step number 1, when you think, can I deliver at that value? When you question yourself on that, what you're really saying to yourself is, I'm worried that I can't deliver that value, or even just I can't deliver that. Who am I to charge? I can't deliver $5,000 worth of value, or $2,000 worth of value, or $10,000 worth of value, right? So this is where we start anytime you're looking at increasing your prices. This really comes down to your self-concept as a coach or a service provider. Now, I might refer to coaches in this, but this applies to everybody. If you're a web designer, let's say, and you're selling packages for $1,000 and you want to be selling at $5,000, you might think, I can't provide that kind of value. Okay, so if I slip into some coach speak, because I do work with a lot of coaches, but I work with people in multiple industries, that's why, but this applies to everybody. It applies to all of you. So this is where we want to start. Whatever you're charging right now, so let's use this example of somebody charging $1,000 and they want to be charging $5,000. Your business and your self-concept are built around this idea that you provide $1,000 worth of value. That's why you're selling at that price point, and that's why you're comfortable selling at that price point. So when we look at increasing our prices, the very first thing that we want to do is we want to elevate your self-concept from somebody selling at this level up to this level. So in our example, we'll just stick with the same numbers on today's training. If you're currently selling at $1,000 and you want to be selling at $5,000, the first thing that we need to do is raise your self-concept from somebody that is providing a $1,000 package up to somebody that's providing a $5,000 package. We want you 100% firmly believing that, of course, that is the value that you offer. No questions asked, right? Like, of course, this is a $5,000 package. Of course it is. What you charge is directly connected to your self-concept. It's your confidence. It's what you see the value. It's the value you provide. Those are all intertwined. It's like a big, massive spaghetti noodles. Those are all intertwined. All of those individual pieces make up your self-concept. So that's where we want to start. The first thing that I've even personally done before I do any price increase is I sit down and build out for myself all the reasons why it's already worth more. So if you were currently selling for $1,000 and you want to be selling at $5,000, the first thing that I want you to do is sit down and write out all the reasons why this coaching, this package, this program, this offer is already worth more than $5,000. Did you catch that, the word more? That's a really important piece. If you want to be selling at $5,000, I want you to build belief around all the reasons why this is already worth $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, or $10,000. Okay, because when you firmly believe, when you can see it in your core, that what you offer is worth $8,000, let's say, then of course you can sell it at $5,000 because you already see that the value is worth $8,000 or $10,000. Sometimes I just go up in those increments, right? If you see that it's worth $10,000, it's real fucking easy to sell it at $5,000 because you know that they are getting $10,000 worth of value out of this thing that you are selling. This program, package, offer, course, can be any number of things. So the very first thing to do is sit down and build out. Again, we're going to use the example. If you're currently selling at $1,000 and you want to sell at $5,000, you're going to actually sit down and build belief of all the reasons why this is already worth $8,000 or $10,000. Now that might seem like a really big jump if you're currently selling at $1,000. Okay, so maybe if you're at $1,000, maybe you're going to build belief that it's worth $7,000 or $8,000 if that is as far as your brain can expand right now. But if you're selling at $5,000 and your next jump is $10,000, then I want you building belief why it's worth $15,000 or $20,000. When you see the value, you can sell the value. Okay, tattoo that on your arm. Write it in your journal. When you see the value, you can sell the value. So you are becoming, right? If we're talking about going from $1,000 up to $5,000, you are becoming the $5,000 service provider today. Even though that last sales call you might have sold for $1,000, you're going to do this work first of elevating the self-concept and truly seeing why your offer is worth even more than what you're going to increase your pricing to. That is the biggest key. the biggest key. Okay, one of my clients just went through this. She jumped from charging $5,000 up to $10,000. So the very first thing that we had her do is she sat down and wrote out all the reasons why her coaching is already worth $20,000. Because when she can see that value, she sees and she knows that it is worth $20,000, it's going to be really easy for her to sell it at 10. So here's the prompt when you go to write this down. Why is your blank already worth blank? Okay, so why is your coaching already worth $5,000? Why is your web design services already worth $10,000, right? You're going to fill that in. Why is your blank already worth blank? And just remember that that dollar amount that you're building belief around is going to be higher than what you're actually selling it at. Okay, remember that. That's really important. So if you're going from 5,000 up to 10,000, you're going to build belief that it's worth 20. If you're going from 1,000 up to 3,000, then I would build belief that it's already worth 5. Because if you can see the value that it's already worth $5,000, you can sell it at 3. Because you know it's a win-win situation. They're getting the steal of a lifetime paying you $3,000 when you know it's worth 5. Okay, so that's the first one, this fear, well, I can't provide that value. We're just gonna build that up. You're gonna find all the evidence and all the reasons why it is already worth that. Okay, step number 1. Fear number 2 that I am often told is, what if no one will buy at that price point? What you're really telling yourself is no one will buy at that price point, right? Because again, when we question ourselves, there's this fear that that thing is true. So if you're questioning, what if no one will buy at that price point? The real fear inside is no one will buy at that price point. So remember, I don't know where I first heard this, but I thought it was brilliant. There's a critic and a client at every price point. Of course, somebody's going to tell you it's too much. One of my favorite clients this summer had it so beautifully happen where it was literally back-to-back calls, like 3 days apart or something like that. And she got on the call with one woman and she pitched her program. And the woman's response was, "What? Are you kidding me? Nobody can afford to pay that." Nobody can afford to pay that was the woman's response. So we coached on it. My client felt really good about her price point. She got on the next sales call that she had a couple days later, and the person was like, "Hell yes, I'm in," and paid in full. Okay, whether you're charging too low, whether your prices are higher, there is a critic and a client at every price point. My favorite thing is when people that aren't even in your industry or maybe don't even own a business want to share their opinions with you about your pricing. Friends and family love to tell you all the reasons why you're insane to charge what you do. So if that's happened to you, you're not alone. It has happened to so many women out there. So consider the source, but also know that there's a critic and a client at every price point. And when you know that there is a client at every price point, then you know that it's just a matter of talking to the right people. So what you want to do with this one, the coaching that I give surrounding this one, is really starting to build evidence that people will pay that new price. So you can start seeking that out. Again, let's say you're a web designer that wants to go from selling $1,000 to $3,000 packages. You're still going to start with that self-concept work and all the reasons why it's already worth $5,000. And then you're going to go to work. Step number 2, build a belief that there are buyers at that price point. That might look like checking out some other web designers that you know that are already charging more than that. Right? I know back when I was in corporate, we paid $6,000 just to have our website done. That was not like astronomical. That's just a going rate. Yet so many women, when they launch website services, are charging way lower than that. And again, thinking that those low prices are going to bring in high-paying clients, there's a disconnect there. So seek out specific examples that you can find to support the new thought that there's a client at every price point. Okay, seek it out. Confirmation bias is real, and it's our brain's way of like seeking out and supporting what we already believe or fear to be true, right? So if you've had maybe 4 sales calls and everybody has said they can't afford to pay you $3,000, your brain is going to be like, see, I knew it. I knew this was true. People can't afford this. Instead of specifically seeking out the evidence of all of the web designers out there selling $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 packages. Okay, confirmation bias is alive and well, and it lives inside all of our brains. So knowing how to spot it is really, really important as you're growing your business. So step number 2, build evidence that people do buy at this price point. And I think a fun thing is to think about all the things that people spend crazy amounts of money on. Right? Anytime you think people don't buy something they can't afford, right? Just go to the Apple store. I know here, man, there's a line in that place every single day. But you go to the Apple store when the new iPhone is released, and holy moly, there will be a line into the mall. Everybody thinks it's expensive. Half those people probably can't really afford it, but they're going to buy it anyhow, right? So again, we're not making financial decisions for our clients. It's just about building belief that people buy expensive things all the time. People buy luxurious things all the time, right? Do some Googling, like what's the most expensive couch out there? What's the most expensive paper clips that you can buy? Right? Just do some search, start expanding your brain into the fact that people love to buy expensive things, and there is a client at every price point. Okay, third step before you increase your pricing, third fear that usually comes up is what if they can't afford it? And again, when we ask ourselves that question, we're really telling ourselves they can't afford it. Okay, so number 1, you're making that immediate assumption about their financial situation. Okay? And you might have just been wired this way. If you grew up around a lot of people saying they couldn't afford things, or rich people talking about how other people can't afford things, this might be some wiring in your brain that like it's not earth-shattering that your brain is going to go there now as an adult, right? But notice it. Be aware of it. Be aware of what's going on. Something that I want you to consider when you think about increasing your own prices is thinking about how committed your clients are to the work. Start thinking about what if when your prices are higher, clients get even better results working with you? That one's really fun to think about. To borrow an example from the beautiful and talented Juliana Garcia, I don't know if any of you follow her, but I heard her speak at one point in time, and she talked about how she viewed her pricing is like a portal or a doorway for transformation for her clients. And so think about if you are on the other side of this doorway and the hole is really teeny tiny and like your client can barely get through there, it's going to be a lot harder for them to get the result they want than if there's this huge glorious doorway that opens up for them. I thought that was such a brilliant example that she came up with, and a very visual one. So start thinking about the possibility that your clients are going to get even better results when they make a higher level investment. I know the first time that I invested with a $10,000 coach, like in that one investment that I made, I was like, wow, I just became the woman that invests $10,000 with her coach. I just became the woman that invests $25,000 with a coach. I just became the woman that invests more than $50,000 every year into her business. There is an up level and a transformation that happens just by your clients investing with you. Even if you sell like web design, right? You don't have to be a coach for this to apply. So think about the up level that happens, the commitment to their business when somebody pays a web designer $5,000, $10,000 compared to paying somebody $250 because they said they could do it as cheap as you wanted. I see a lot of people make this mistake with graphic design and web design, thinking that the cheap prices are going to make people come running in. A lot of people don't want the person that's the cheapest, right? A lot of times the cheapest person isn't giving the best transformation and isn't giving the highest quality work. So a lot of people are going to make assumptions about you based on your pricing. Because again, like we talked about a few minutes ago, there is a critic and a client at every price point. When you're too cheap, people are going to be real skeptical. As your pricing scales, there are going to be people that say, I can't afford that. I can't pay that. And that's okay. Not everybody is going to become your client. Okay, so really start to think about what changes for your clients when they make a higher level investment with you. As one of my favorite mentors ever, Serena, has said, your pricing is expansive, not expensive. Meaning your clients and their business, their whole world transforms when they're making a higher level investment to work with you. I love one of my clients, right after she made an investment with me, she sent an email and she was like, I am floating on cloud 9. Like, this is who I am now. These higher paying clients are coming, right? She was literally floating on air after making the investment. That's how your clients can feel about investing with you too, right? And there is a real change that happens the higher that your pricing is, because the value is there, right? We're not talking about scamming people. We're not talking about overcharging for our services. The value is there. But to use your pricing as a way to keep your own prices lower by saying nobody can afford that, it's not even true, right? It's not even true. So we want your brain over looking at all the ways, like, how is this actually best for my clients? How do they get the greatest results by investing at a higher level with me? Okay, how does expanding your prices expand their results, expand their transformation? It's really important that you can see how this benefits them, because it's not just about lining your pocketbooks and making more money. Making money is really fun, but it's about so much more than that. It's about the transformation and the results that your clients are getting by working with you. And so we want to keep that in mind every step of the way. Okay, so to recap, the 3 things that you should do, and if you're just popping on, make sure to catch the replay because we talk about these in detail and how to do them. The 3 things that you should do before you even increase your pricing is, number 1, build belief that your offer is already worth more than that. So if you want to increase to $5,000, I want you to build belief that this is already worth $8,000 or $10,000. Okay, build belief that it's already worth more. Step number 2, build evidence and specifically seek out examples that there are clients at every price point. Every price point, okay? Build belief around that. Third thing, build belief that your higher pricing is the best possible thing for your clients. Because when you believe it's worth more, when you know people will pay it, right? And when you believe that the higher price is best for your clients, that's when it becomes really easy to talk to your clients about it, okay? It's really, it is a game changer for the way that you talk about everything in your marketing, right? Your services in your marketing, your products in your marketing. It changes the people that you're speaking to on the sales calls because your marketing has changed. This is what an up level actually looks like in real time, is building belief that the offer is worth it, that people will buy it, that it's the best thing for your clients. And when you become that more mature entrepreneur, when you become a little bit more seasoned, when you become the person that is at that higher price point, your audience sees that elevation in you and they want part of it, right? So you're having different conversations on the sales calls. It's really, really fun. It's really fun. And all of this is built around getting your clients the best results ever while building your business and a life that you love. Right? And the truth is, when you elevate your pricing, when you raise your prices, you can make more money with fewer clients. So you're not spending as much time on calls. You have more time to prepare for the calls, more time to really engage with your clients, to support them, right? There's so many reasons why elevating your pricing is also the best thing for your clients. So that is it. I hope you ladies find this helpful. I am accepting clients for next year, for 2022. So if you've been curious about coaching together, if you've wanted to speak about that, the easiest way is to probably go out to my website, kimthebusinesscoach.com, and there's a red button right at the top. You can book a free consult with me. What we do on that consult is we spend about 45 minutes diving into your business and your goals. What are you currently seeing? What results are you currently getting in your business? And what results do you want to be getting in your business? And that's what we talk about. And then we'll talk about what it could look like if we coach together. So head out to my website if you are interested in setting up one of the free calls, and we can talk about coaching for 2022. That is it, ladies. Drop any questions that you have below this live training. I will be watching the comments for today, and the replay will stay up in the group. Adios.